Oh, hello, and welcome to our cancer support mindfulness session for Wednesday, the 23rd of October. Today, we're going to work through mountain meditation. Mountain meditation gives us a way to relate to our lived experience from a place of grounded and centered calm. Also allows us to gain a bit of perspective and space around what we experience. And we'll finish the meditation today by inviting a little bit of compassion and self care into that space. So we begin our practice by sensing into our posture. Traditionally, a mountain meditation, we're sitting, but of course, choose a posture that feels right for you today. Whether you're lying down or sitting, we begin by just inviting awareness to how the body is supported by the bed, the chair, the surface beneath us. Notice those points of contact, pressure, where the weight of the body is held and supported by the surface. And with this, just coming into awareness that we're here in this moment. If there's anything going through the mind, thinking about what's already happened or what might happen in the future, can we just allow those thoughts to pass in their own way? Whatever energy is in your body, just recognize what's here. We might be aware of certain emotions that are present. So can we just allow those thoughts to be? Allow the emotions to flow. And we invite our attention into how this is lived within the body. Coming back to that sense of the body held and supported by the stability of the earth beneath you. So whatever is present, the racing thoughts or the dynamic energy of certain emotions, we can allow them to move and flow while we are grounded and centered and connected to this constant stability of the earth that holds us. Finding any tension in the body or anything that might bring up a sense of discomfort, Maybe just connecting to the breath and breathing some softness into those sensations, those thoughts, or those emotions. And as you stay with that breathing, that compassionate breathing, just bring to mind the image of a mountain. It might be one that you know well, or it might just be a generic image of a mountain. And take some time to let it take shape in your mind's eye, imagining the vast base that might spread across the landscape over hundreds of square kilometers, and how the core of the mountain reaches deep down into the bedrock, into the core of the earth itself. You might imagine the lower slopes, maybe they have forest or woodland, maybe meadows and rivers, all sorts of different plant and animal life. As you imagine climbing up the slopes, we might find they become more rugged, more rocky, maybe with waterfalls or little streams. All sorts of different contours and crevices in the mountainside. And as we climb up to the highest peak, the top of the mountain, we notice how it rises majestically high above the landscape, has this clear perspective over all the land, stretching out for miles and miles in all directions. Maybe this peak is covered in snow, or maybe it's just rock. We can imagine being right at the top of the mountain with that clarity of vision all around. So, holding the image of our mountain in our mind's eye, now imagine your body as a mountain. Whether you're lying down or sitting up, we can imagine the base of the body, the legs and the pelvis are strong and stable, like the base of our mountain. We're connected to the earth, to the bedrock and the core of the earth beneath. We're held with stability, with care. We imagine their spine and our back rise up like the mountain, reaching up towards the head at the peak. And we imagine our arms a bit like the sides of the mountain. So you could imagine as you connect to the sense of what's going on in your legs, as we check in with the pelvis, as we feel the spine and the muscles of the back. As we become aware of our arms by our sides and our head at the top of the spine. As we feel the body breathing, alive. We can imagine that this body and the mountain become one, becoming a living, breathing mountain. And you begin to embody the strength and the solidity and the stability of the mountain. You embody the clarity and perspective of the high mountain peak. So just sitting for a few moments to really get a sense of that mountain energy within our body. Getting a clear image of the mountain in the mind's eye. Now imagine all the change this mountain experiences. From the first light of dawn, as the sun rises, the mountainside experiences a whole range of colors. Perhaps the golden light of the sunrise. And then as the sun arcs through the sky, all the colors on the mountain change as it's lit from different angles. Different sides of the mountain pass from sunlight into shadow. Different angles and contours are lit. There's an ever-changing pattern of light and color and shadow. All those different crevices, the water and the streams that sparkles, the leaves of the trees and the forest that catch the sunlight, until as the sun sets, the mountain gradually fades perhaps back to gold, and then purple, and finally maybe a blue, before becoming almost transparent against the night sky. Even in the darkness, even although we can no longer see the details, perhaps we see the silhouette of the mountain against a starry sky. Or in the moonlight, perhaps patterns of silver light and blue shadow. So day by day, the mountain experiences all these changes on its slopes, colors, shadows, patterns of light, ever changing. But at its core, the mountain remains constant, simply observing all these changes that are happening on its slopes. As you imagine going from season to season, the mountain experiences a huge range of change. In autumn, the slopes are covered in the golden and orange leaves, almost ablaze with color. Within the forests, all the animals are preparing for winter. Maybe some birds fly away, migrating away to warmer places. Other animals change the color of their coat from brown to white, preparing for the snows that are to come. The trees are producing nuts, and there are berries on the bushes. All the different animals are scurrying around, trying to prepare for winter months. Perhaps preparing little collections of nuts or eating all the berries and making little burrows, preparing for winter. As those snows arrive, as the leaves fall from the trees, the mountain takes on a whole new appearance. Maybe winter rain or snowstorms. Perhaps the rivers flow wild with the water from rainstorms. Or perhaps the rivers freeze with the cold temperatures of midwinter. And the colors of the mountain might change from the golds of autumn to darker browns or whites of snow. The starkness of bare branches. But of course, change is constant, and soon we see the beginnings of spring. The snows melt and give way to the new grasses and flowers of the meadows, and the rivers might run fast with meltwater from snow. We begin to see the animals reappear, preparing for spring. New leaves on the trees, and suddenly the mountain is green with the color of new leaves. The sun is warmer again, the days are longer. A whole new set of light and shadow. Little baby animals appear. And before long, the days are warm and sunny. Maybe the rivers run dry or low. Insects and birds and animals enjoy the warm, lazy days of summer. Those green meadow grasses maybe turn brown. And very soon we see berries and nuts reappearing as the whole cycle continues season after season. And through this whole year after year, the mountain notices these changes, but it is at its core not defined by the changes of the season. The mountain does not become summer or winter. It simply experiences summer and winter. It observes the changes on its slope. but at its heart, it still remains a mountain. And over millennia, or even millions of years, this mountain has observed so many changes. Changes in the landscape, maybe dinosaurs, maybe woolly mammoths, whole civilizations of humanity that have come and gone, living in the land around its slopes. Maybe the mountain even notices erosion of its own slopes, waterfalls, new rivers that appear and then dry up, forests that grow and maybe fade depending on the climate of the time. And still, even over these millions of years of change, the mountain is constant as a mountain. It's not defined by the changes that it witnesses or the experiences going on around it. So, when you think about your own experience from this perspective as a living, breathing mountain, just like the mountain, sometimes the weather is sunny and warm, sometimes stormy or foggy, sometimes cold and harsh. Sometimes the mountain experiences the beautiful colors of spring, and sometimes the harsher colors of a dark, stormy winter. So, can we treat our own experiences as a living, breathing mountain? Sometimes things feel pleasant, and sometimes unpleasant. So, can we simply observe and sit here as a living, breathing mountain? At our core, we are the observer of change. We are the constant within the change. So, bringing an awareness into your own body right now, this living, breathing mountain that you are, can we find our capacity to observe our own experience without identifying as the experience? So we invite our attention into the body, into the legs, the pelvis. Just to be curious of our experience today. What is alive in those legs, in the toes, in the feet? What do we notice in the lower legs, the calves, the shins? What are we experiencing today in the knees or the thighs? As we come up through the pelvis, what's here today? Revisiting the back, the spine, the muscles and the bones. Down through the shoulders, the arms, and into the hands. Coming up through the neck and the throat, the jaw, the face, the scalp, this whole body, living and breathing and connected together. Can we be the observer of this experience in the body? Just as the mountain observes the changing light of day and night, or the changing seasons, or the changing weather on its slopes. You just be curious, what is the weather pattern within your body today? Just like the slopes of the mountain have different light on them or different colors, can you imagine your embodied experience today as patterns of light or color, temperature? And within this embodied experience, those emotions, maybe they're like a sunny day, a cloudy day, a windy day, a rainy day. How could you imagine your emotions as the weather patterns around the mountain of your body today? And whatever thoughts are present, can we imagine them like clouds in the sky? Sometimes just little fluffy clouds, sometimes moving fast with the wind. And sometimes those clouds are so heavy that they envelop the mountain in mist. But the mountain's still there at the core of it all, whatever the weather, whatever the season. So just a few moments of silent practice to connect with the lived experience in your body today as a living, breathing mountain. And if you want, maybe visualizing your experience as a season of the year, as a passing moment of sunlight or shadow, as a temporary weather pattern, as clouds in the sky. So as we sit with this felt sense of our experience, imagining it as color or texture or the landscape of a mountain, summer or winter, the colors, the textures, can we invite a little bit of compassion for yourself, for this mountain that is living through this experience, that is watching the change, this mountain that's allowing the sensations to arise and the emotions to flow and the thoughts to appear. Can we bring compassion to the mountain itself as it lives through these experiences? The mountain that experiences winter and cold, or the dry heat of summer. The mountain that has seen civilizations come and go. The mountain that is witness to all humanity and all that living beings can experience. Those little animals and birds, those trees that come and go over the millennia. Can we bring some compassion to this mountain, to this living, breathing mountain that we are, as we bear witness to our own experience, to the changes that we live through? Just breathe some softness, some love, some warmth into whatever comes alive as we sit with the changes in our own lives, the experiences that we are living through right now. Whenever that brings up a sensation in the body or an emotion or a thought, just breathing some love around those sensations or emotions or thoughts. As you breathe your compassion into yourself, come back to feeling your body, this living, breathing mountain of a body. Your body connected to the earth. Maybe breathe in the energy that you need today from the stability of the earth, from the core of the earth. And feel that in whichever parts of you are connected to floor or bed or chair right now. Your feet, your legs, your back, your, your pelvis. As if you had roots going way down into the earth, drawing up that energy into your body. And through your breathing, we can connect to the perspective and the clarity of the sky and the air. Breathe that in, that living energy. And just allow that to settle into just simply feeling your body breathing right now, and your body supported by the chair, by the bed. Maybe being aware of sounds in the room around you or the world beyond that. Inviting your awareness into the fingers and the toes as you wiggle, noticing the movement and how it feels. And from here, let the body be your guide. Maybe you feel a need to move or to stretch, maybe to sigh or to yawn. When you're ready, gently opening your eyes, taking in the world around you, noticing your place in this room, in this moment. And if you're watching this on video, it's a good time now to maybe just do some journaling. You could even draw a little picture of a mountain, put some colors, make it abstract. Those colors might represent your mood or what you've experienced, and then you can maybe just annotate that with a bit of compassion, a bit of love. And for those of us that are here today, I'm going to stop the recording and we can come and have a little chat.